Hello. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing super swell. I'm back with another video, another Sunday, another upload. I'm actually making this on Sunday in the AM because I don't know sleep. I do know sleep. I love sleep, but I'm more of a night owl, and I don't know if that's where that comes from, but it's so interesting to me. I watched a documentary on sleep. It was a sleep doc. It was supposed to be like a sleep documentary to help you sleep, and it was about sleep, and, they talked about how it became more common for people to sleep from, throughout the night rather than having broken sleep, so before the Industrial Revolution, they would get up, go to sleep, then get up again in, like, a short increment, not short, not, like, extremely short, but they would basically, like, sleep twice during the period of the entire day than 24 hours. So I thought that was very interesting because, I always think, is the reason that I can't sleep because I'm trying to resort back to my natural state, which is I don't like sleep. I don't even sleep twice in one day, so I feel like that's not accurate either. But anyways, that's not even the topic of this video, and I just wanted to throw that in there. A little I love watching documentaries, so sometimes I say words, and there are a lot of words, and I don't know how to live with myself. I just do it. My brain is constantly running with words. And sometimes you just have to be yourself. You just have to say, "This is who I am. This is me. Accept it." I used to get so worried about, just talking, just having a conversation, just letting people know. Now, if it's a one-on-one kind of thing, oh my gosh, I could talk for hours. Um, but I think, like, especially when I was streaming WoW, I didn't have the greatest time being able to communicate because I really didn't when people are typing, you don't really know how to relate to them, and it's not even really about them, it's about you. 'Cause it's your personality, and it's just like, I don't know what to say, I don't really know what to talk about. I could just have, like, random conversations about, sleep documentaries, but I am very I don't know, I would say I'm very goofy at times, aloof at other times, but I don't know, I feel very carefree, like, that's my natural state is just carefree, like, I really just love breathing, and I mean, actually, like, so nice to breathe, to live slowly and not have to I don't know. I used to always be on the go and always on tens, and ever since this journey that I've been on, which is a journey that I will be on for the rest of my life because we're always growing. I'm always on the road or the path to self-realization, self-compassion, self-acceptance, and self-awareness, and just really, choosing to live my life consciously. Um, but yeah. Anyways, I'm not gonna be silly anymore, and I'm going to talk about awareness from my point of view, my perspective. Um, just and I feel like I've said this so many times through not so many times, I've only made 3 other videos. 2 other videos? No, I've made 3. I'm gonna sneeze. I sneezed. But, so but and so are literally the same. I know, I don't know why I said but and so. Like, aren't they the same? They're basically the same segue into I don't know. My brain just went on the fritz. But and so, your past doesn't define you. I've talked about this before, and I really just sometimes you wanna talk about it again. Um, because I think for me, my past I really did. I let my past define me. I let my past control me for a very, very long time. Like I said, I'm 37 now, and I really didn't think about parts of my life where because I really genuinely thought that I had gotten over it. I really genuinely thought there was this moment of okay, well I don't really talk about it. I don't think about it. I don't really let it affect me. But that's what was crazy. And this isn't I'm trying to rehash old feelings and woe is me and, victimization because I really did it for myself. I really became self-aware for myself, and a part of that had to be facing something that I didn't want to think about. Like, I did not ever want to relive that part of my life again. I never wanted to I think because for so long, like, anytime it was brought up in my family, you know, because it's such a tawdry topic, that I feel like it would be, you know, pushed under the rug, and I know my mom has apologized, in the state of drunkenness, but I digress, that doesn't matter. She tried, that's on some levels, so no I mean, no hate to her, I don't hate her, I just, you know had to remove myself from environments that, I deserve better. I deserve more. And I finally realized that. And I'm proud of myself for getting to this place. But, you know, they would sweep it under the rug and it would be like you can't discuss family business. You can't discuss what happens in the house stays in feel like that's such a bad thing to, continue as a society even is let's not I'm not gonna say but yeah, I will say it normalized just things happen outside of your control all of the time, and it's more of an acknowledgement that helps people move forward. A lot of times people say, "Oh, just get over it." It just happens, but it just needs to be and I don't think it's necessarily I think a lot of times we look outside of ourselves for acknowledgement when we don't realize we have the power within us to acknowledge our traumas and our pains from our past. And we look outside of ourselves for that, you know, this sense of belonging or almost to allow yourself to feel it. Looking for a place to just kind of break down, so because it's a lot to carry, so you're just looking for a place to just, like, allow yourself to just drop it and just break for a moment just to because a lot of times in order to heal, you have to break. Like, you can't just be strong all the time, you're not meant to. Humans aren't meant to always be strong. That's why we have emotions and we have thoughts and we have it's not staying in them, but it's acknowledging them. It's acknowledging it within yourself. And so when we realize we don't need that externally, that it starts with internally, that's when it becomes more easier. And your past may explain your behaviors now and your thoughts now. Like you may look and be like, "Oh, okay, that's why I thought that way, or that's why I believed that way, or that's why my brain has those." thoughts that pop up is because this is something that I've seen or I was taught or experienced. But we have the power within us to choose a different way, to choose a different path. And the the softer you are with yourself when you realize that you're actually human and you realize that on this plane, you are going to experience everything as humanly as possible. Your most important journey is your human one. Being kind to yourself, being soft with yourself. Not, I'm not saying like, no, I kind of am. Just baby yourself a little bit because when we look outside of ourselves for other people to do it, we're missing the most important relationship, which is the relationship you have with yourself. Your relationship with yourself is so important. Your self-awareness, your self-care, your self-respect, your self-acceptance. The the relationship with self is so important because you live with you at the end of the day. You're going to grow old with you at the end of the day. So it needs to start with you at the end of the day. Mhm. But so that's what I think. I think that if we just look at our past and say, yes, I've been through things, I've seen things that I didn't want to see and I didn't want to experience, and acknowledge the pain and the hurt and the trauma and recognize that it sucked and it wasn't fair, but that's okay. I had to cut for a moment because I burped and I'm going to be honest. Um but anyways, looking outside for gratification when it really is something that we as humans are so powerful, and it doesn't have to be something that's otherworldly. It doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be something where it's like, I'm gonna start levitating or, I can telekinesis. Nothing nothing like that, but in a sense of how powerful we are with our minds and how we really can start creating a reality where we finally feel amazing within our own reality and not have everything that we want. And I think being human is just so cool. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about being human that I find so, and it's almost like it's such an interesting experience because it's almost like I'm experiencing it for the first time, sort of. Or I don't know, like I've always had this really weird obsession with humans, but like I said, not in a I don't wanna dissect the human brain and figure out why we do the things that we do. It's just an appreciation and awe really of the capability of humans when there's a lot of happiness and positivity and good, and in the world, obviously right now, there could be that there's not that could be, but there is a lot of not great things happening. Um, okay, I'm back. All right, not that you even knew I was gone. You didn't even know. Hmm. Um, but I'm trying to do this in a way where I do less edits of like things because I will blank and I have to cut it because I blank, then I cut, and then I go back and I look at what I was saying, and I just have to because I do end up blanking out and kind of there's so many thoughts in my head at once that I have to stay on track. but it's hard. But anyways, humans are cool. I like humans. I like being human, and I like this journey, and I like this path, and, um, my beginning was crap, and I am I wish so many times that it didn't have to start out like that, but the fact that I made it to this point in my life where I no longer let my past have a place in my sphere, in my world. It's now free, and that I have to take people out of my world in order for me to really, put myself first. Yes. Yes, I did. I no longer put others first if it's at the cost of my mental state. Mental first, my human journey first. And yeah, I feel like that was not the topic that I really wanted to talk about, but I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it at that. And if this makes sense to anyone, that's great. If it doesn't, thank you for watching anyway. And on that note, I hope you have the greatest rest of your day, and I hope your mind is kind to you today. And that's all I have to say. Okay.